Ibrahim Traoré in a very interesting speech. Let's watch. Let's go. Oh, before we start, let's do this. Okay. Great stuff. Let's go. It's done. Appreciate it.
Camarades, bonjour.
Good morning, comrades. We are now in the last month of the semester, the first half of 2025, and I hope we can use this month to begin thinking about the outlook for the second half of the year.
Commencer à réfléchir aux perspectives du deuxième semestre et voir qu'est-ce qui a marché.
And see what worked in our administrations and what didn't.
Et comme vous le constatez, ce matin donc, nous venons donc
And as you can see, this morning, we just raised the flag with the Confederation anthem.
l'hymne de la Confédération.
Okay, you can see this man works a lot. To me, he looks a little bit tired, but he's a machine. Okay, he looks a little bit tired, but he's a machine. But then we thank him for that because even though he's tired, he's still going. He's a human being. You know, you may be a Navy SEAL in terms of everything, but he's a human being and he's giving everything he's got for his nation and he will never be forgotten. No doubt about it. I hope Burkinabe people don't forget him. Let's go.
Ce qui est encore un pas
This is another step we are taking in our unity,
dans notre union.
which is not without difficulty because unity is difficult, especially in Africa.
Et dur, surtout en Afrique.
Unity is very hard in Africa. It's very difficult to bring Africans together for good cause. Yeah. For bad cause, we do that really, really well. Very, very easy. Oh, you see that guy? Who does he think? Yes, I also saw that. Yeah, who does he think he is? But yeah, coming together, putting money together, build something for someone. We hate that. Let's go.
C'est difficile de s'unir.
It is difficult to unite, but it is the solution.
Il faut qu'on s'unisse.
We must unite little by little. The AES continues on its path.
Des chemins,
Despite all the difficulties, all the challenges before us.
tous les défis.
Okay, so whatever the situation is, we are continuing. You're talking about the AES, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. It's very hard, like you said, it's very hard for Africa to come together. But it doesn't matter. We, AES, we are continuing now step by step by step to move forward. So you Africans, you have issues, right? It's difficult for you to come together. But us, AES, we are progressing. Let's go.
Si j'étais naïf,
If I were naive, I would ask myself the question, why don't the imperialists want this union?
de cette union. Mais je suis pas naïf.
But I'm not naive, I know why. And it's the same question that those who tend to sleep should be asking themselves.
Tendance encore à dormir, doivent se poser. Pourquoi ils ne veulent pas
Why don't they want us to unite? Why does the Confederation scare so much or hurt so much?
à certains?
Why don't they want us to come together? Why do they have an issue with that? If I was stupid, I wouldn't know. But I know they don't want us together because together we are. Let's listen.
Parce que nous sommes approchés tous les jours.
Because we are approached every day by these imperialists trying to get one of the three to betray the other.
Un des trois à trahir l'autre.
Wow.
Nous sommes confrontés à ça.
We've been facing this for a long time.
Chaque fois, ce sont
Each time, these kinds of maneuvers are there to get us to leave the Confederation.
à quitter la Confédération.
Absolutely. Every time they'll try to speak to you against your brother. You know, you like calling each other brother, even though you don't know nothing brotherhood lead to each other. The only brothers in Africa right now are Mali and Burkina Faso and Niger. All of you are just players. You lie to each other. You just look black. Let's go.
Et ça doit nous amener à réfléchir.
And this makes us think.
Et quand on regarde
And when we look at our relationships, there is no friendship, in fact. With the world, there are only interests.
il n'y a que des intérêts.
So if you see our relationships, he's talking about Africans, there is no brotherhood. It's just interest. You know, if my interests are looked after, then you're my brother. If my interests are not looked after, there's no brotherhood between us.
Les gens ne viennent vers nous
People only come to us for their own interests.
qu'on soit bien.
We must be fully aware of this.
On va nous combattre.
We will be fought. We will continue to fight, but we will emerge victorious and strong.
They will fight with us all the time, but we will always be victorious and strong. That's a very emphatic statement.
Ces situations que nous
We must not take this situation we are experiencing and feel sorry for ourselves.
sur nous-mêmes. Au contraire, ça doit nous rendre.
On the contrary, it should strengthen us. We must emerge from this war very strong, understand why we were so attacked.
Le pourquoi on nous attend assaillis, se forger
We must strengthen ourselves and ensure that in the coming century we do not experience this kind of situation.
ce genre de situation.
That's what we must keep in mind.
Okay, so he's referring here to what we've gone through with all these centuries. We need to make sure that the next centuries are not identical to the previous ones. So we have to be prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually. We need to be ready. We need to have the equipment that's necessary. Without the intelligence and the capacity, the science, you cannot resist.
So I invite everyone to redouble their efforts, because the Burkinabe are known as very courageous, very hardworking, and very resilient. And we must work to improve these values. Wherever you go in Africa or the world, for that matter, you will find the Burkinabe. And these are the values that characterize and identify the Burkinabe. So we must do everything possible to be men of integrity, as the name of the country suggests, courageous, resilient, and selfless people. And redouble our efforts in everything we do for the happiness of Burkina Faso, but also for the happiness of our confederation. That is very important. And once we reach a certain level, we'll understand even better why we were fought. Because our country is rich, rich in its human values, rich in its moral values, but above all rich in its subsoil. And it is these riches that are coveted. But these riches must benefit the people of Burkina Faso. Nothing has yet begun in terms of exploitation of natural resources and compensation. So, at the level of the masses, we can change the face of our country. We can leave the situation of underdevelopment and quickly find ourselves an emerging country. All we have to do is work, and everyone has to do their part.
So we can do good. We can get better. We can make money. We don't need anybody's help. Especially not those who colonize and deprived us of our rights for the longest time. So the problem is what? They don't want you to know that you can actually free yourself. They don't want you to know that you need them as much as they want to make you think that you need them. Because that's what Africans think. They think we cannot survive without them. But the bottom line is, even when you call them to build infrastructure, they don't teach you the techniques and the science behind. They will build the railroad and all that stuff. Then they don't give you the equipment and the intelligence. And whenever you have a breakdown, you need to call them back so they can come and they can still hold you, control you for the longest time. He said, we can develop ourselves. Let's go.
Just as the fighters sacrifice themselves, we in the administration must also be able to sacrifice.
Not just soldiers must fight. You too, as a citizen.
We must be able to work beyond what we are used to doing, to push our capabilities further. Because, as I said, we have to move very quickly, and it's by moving quickly that we can surprise those who seek to divide us, those who seek to keep us in our poverty. Burkina Faso is not poor. I've told you, I'll say it again, we are very rich, and that's our major problem. It's because of this wealth that they don't want us to first know that we are rich and to be able to exploit our resources.
France hate them. They hate this man bad. I mean, they colonized them for hundreds of years, beat them up, take stuff from them. They took names they took their names. They wanted to force them to speak French and not speak their home language. They hate them. And now to see that they are fighting to be independent in 2025, they hate that. The bottom line is France is a poor country. Yeah, they don't have anything big for themselves. And their riches is because of the control they have over many African nations. They signed deals saying after independence, still before independence, meaning it's a continuity. If you refuse to sign this deal, then we're not going to give you freedom. That's what was said in the 1960s. Listen to this president from France saying that without Africa will be poor.
A large part of the money in our wallets comes precisely from the centuries-long exploitation of Africa. Not only, but a lot of it comes from the exploitation of Africa.
Listen to this is the French president talking. French president. He says without Africa we'll be poor. Do you think they will stop? Let's go.
And beyond Burkina Faso, the entire Sahel is rich, immensely rich, and I know you all know that. The Sahel will not be poor. We will continue on our merry way. Continue to build the Sahel, to be strong, resilient, to make the Sahel a space of total security so that we can properly exploit its resources and thus benefit our masses. With that, I invite you to pass this message on to all your loved ones. We have to sacrifice ourselves here at the rear in the offices to be able to support those on the front lines.
Donc je vous souhaite très bonne semaine, très bon mois de juin.
So I wish you a very good week, a very good month of June, and a very good end to the first half of the year.
Peu de temps pour affronter le deuxième semestre.
See you soon to face the second half of the year with more energy, more self-sacrifice, more courage. Homeland or death, we will win.
Nous vaincrons.
Very strong. Very strong. I have nothing else to say. You say something. You say something. Thank you.